All right. Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. Happy spring. Um, okay, I think I say this before we start every single deal defense that it will go quick. I think this one is actually going to go really, really quick. So, um, I am just going to quickly touch on the right of first refusal, which doesn't come up much in our deals and our transactions. But it is good to like just, have some familiarity with it in case it does. And The WRA just had a quick like 2 minute, oh no, it was probably 20 minute, um, if that, training on it the other day. So just a reminder that that is also a good resource. A lot of times, not a lot of, I mean, almost 100% of the time, we're pulling our content from the WRA for you guys. So, but like I said, this should go pretty quick, and then we can just open it up for general questions, on anything afterward, if you guys have anything. So, but as always, thank you for being here. So the right of first refusal. So, it's given in real estate transactions, and it provides that the potential purchaser has the first right to buy the particular property upon the terms and conditions offered by another buyer. There is no uniform language for a right of first refusal, so they're often written by attorneys, and there's no like standard language around it. Where we're going to see this most often is among condo associations. So the condo association itself might hold a right of first refusal. So um, essentially, what it is that there's somebody out there, not necessarily somebody who brings an offer, but there's somebody out there that the current owner has an agreement with saying, okay, if I ever receive an offer on my house or on my condo, I need to go to you, Mr. Right of First Refusal holder, and present those same terms to you to see if you potentially want to purchase the property. But it's got to be the same terms as the other buyer, that first buyer who brought the offer. So, if that holder is willing to match those terms and purchase the property, then we need to go with that buyer, with the one who holds the right of first refusal. So back to the condo association, usually it's not a one individual who has a right of first refusal, but the association itself. So if the association wanted to purchase the condo, they would have that opportunity. So again, in that situation, if there is a right of first refusal, and that is something that we are asking on a listing appointment, then the condo association, we'd have to field an offer and get an offer and present it to the condo association for them to say to match the terms, or let us just move forward with that buyer. Um, and I'll say that there might be a right of first refusal among a condo association, and it's not very often that these are ever exercised. So, the last time I saw it was on a 2 unit twin dominium. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but those are just literally a 2 unit condo association. So typically you'll see that with like a converted duplex, where there's an upper and a lower. And in these condo bylaws, there was a right of first refusal, where if an owner was going to sell, they needed to go to the other owner and say, do you want to buy it first, before I move forward with with this other buyer? So, okay, so continuing on, the right of first refusal is held between the property owner and the holder of the right of first refusal. So it does not run with the property, excuse me, um, unless it is willed, unless it is willed to an heir. So that can be possible. Um, but typically, if it's not exercised and then a new owner takes it over, then the right of first refusal has ceased. That buyer then obviously, or that holder of the right of first refusal does not have an opportunity with this new owner. So, another thing that I learned was that it is not required to be recorded on a title, and they're not always recorded. So, and they do not have to be recorded on the title in order to be enforced. So, so just know that as well. So in practice, if we do come across a right of first refusal, and if our clients ever have questions about it, so number one, we are not to interpret language around it. With a lot of these things with real estate, in terms of kind of our role and like our expected knowledge level, you know. I just was fielding questions over the weekend about a 1031 exchange, for example. Like, you're not expected to be experts in these kind of things, but we just need to, again, be familiar with them, and just like know the resources. So with that 1031 exchange, a tax accountant would be the best person to answer questions, specific questions, and this, we would have to point the client back to an attorney if they need additional help with the language around it. So again, just know you're not expected to be experts with this. Um, and again, as we learned before, since there's not uniform language, there could be varying ways and levels of complications or complexity in terms of how these are written too. So, our job, though, as licensees, we need to disclose to potential purchasers in a timely manner of the right of first refusal. Um, and one thing that came up in the WRA training on this was, you might not know, and the owner might not know if there's a right of first refusal. Well, the owner should know, but it could have been something that they like just forgot about. I don't know. It's common that um, it might not be learned or discovered that there's a right of first refusal until after a buyer submits an offer. So just know that that could be the case. And then we go back to the fact that we just need to disclose that in a timely manner then. So, um, and you may put it on a disclosure of material adverse facts, though it is, and that's appropriate, but it's not required. So you can disclose these things via an email as well. Um, as licensees, we are able to deliver a copy of the offer to the right of first refusal holder. So if our agent, or sorry, if our client wants us to deliver that offer to the person who holds the right of first refusal, we absolutely can. And again, it may not, though it might not be required. I think a good practice with this would just be to block out names, and then just leave the terms open. So we are able to do that. And then lastly, the biggest consequence around a right of first refusal, like in our world, in terms of what might shake up a transaction for us, is that maybe it's discovered there's a right of first refusal after an offer is accepted. If that is the case, and the WRA attorney who again gave this training has told us that that has come up in their hotline calls, that we need to refer peeps to an attorney. So um, our client needs to talk to an attorney if that is the case. obviously we would be going back to the uh, buyer who has the accepted offer. Maybe they are okay with relinquishing or withdrawing the offer. Um, but again, of course, an attorney is always going to have the best advice around this. So, like I said, it's going to be quick. Any questions?
Hey, Steph, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that the right of first refusal doesn't stick with the property, that it just sticks between like the current right of first refusal owner and the current occupant. So once, like if it's a condo and the condo association has the right of first refusal, once that unit owner sells, it's no longer there.
Well, so that would be different.
Oh,
And we would need to just consult with the association. But so the once that condo association says, no, we're not interested in purchasing, then it could still be in place for the new owner. And that's just
oh,
more an effect of the bylaws than it is like a typical not running with the property. So it's not necessarily like a recorded on title
hmm,
in that sense that it's running with the property, but it's more of a bylaw mandate than anything else.
okay. So it
So
could continue to run with the property. It just all depends, sounds like.
yes, like
Okay.
it probably would,
Oh, okay.
anytime there's a condo, if there's a right of first refusal in an association, then it would be true of all units
Okay.
all the time.
Okay.
Yes.
And
But
then
I would
is there a
always be asking the association.
sure, sure. Okay. And then is there a specific form that we need to have for like waiving the right of first refusal or like a reply to the offer with,
Oh, sure. No, there's no like formal document. I mean, it would just be the holder saying, no, I'm choosing not to exercise my right um, to move forward with these
okay.
terms. So,
And then we'll just save that email and
yeah,
okay.
I think just document it
Perfect.
in writing. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay,
That's
cool.
a
That
good
was it.
question. I wish I would have asked that question of the WRA.
No problem. Yeah, I've never dealt with it. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna attend this call and see if I can learn something.
Yeah. Really, just because it comes up rarely, but again, just having some, being able to speak to it in some way, you know.
Sure. Sure.
So,
Cool.
do you
Thank you.
guys have any other general questions about any transactional or related items, contract questions? Let me see what is up next week. Oh, I think we're gonna go over, and this is more of a traditional contract training. But next week we're gonna go over the home close contingency, secondary offers, and the bump clause. So that is definitely something that seasoned agents, I think is not just for brand newly licensed agents. This is a good one for my meaty middle people. So, okay. Does anybody have anything else for the greater good?
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. All right. See you guys next week.
Thank you.